we can have them force them. We don't have to ask them because the money that they get and they make in our communities, they take it out. They don't put anything back in our community.
We'll get them now. You ready? We're live. We're live on YouTube. Yes, sir.
You can share it. Slowly get started. Welcome, Sister Lorraine. Get the mic a little bit closer to your mouth if possible. Here.
Like this. Like this. Okay. Thank you.
Well, we are live, actually. We actually are live, just so you know. Sharing it on Facebook so we can get some more people into the stream, just in case anybody has questions. No matter what, even if they're not seeing it live, they can always see the replay. No big deal. But as we get situated, we're going to make sure we're shared on Facebook. And for anybody that's new here, welcome to the Moor Culture Podcast. This is episode 7. Praise Allah. We've been doing this 7 times. The 7th time, the God episode, as we like to call it in Supreme Mathematics. And we have a very special episode because we have Sister Lorraine Muhammad. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I don't even want to not do it the right justice. I'll allow her to introduce herself the way she wants to be introduced, but she's very powerful. I've heard plenty and can't wait to get into a great conversation. First, before I get too far, just want to make sure I greet everybody the way they like to be greeted. And we start with peace, Islam, Assalamu alaikum, Rahubat, Shalom, Alafiyah, Ayonio. We have a lot of ways of greetings. And I know Sister Lorraine has a very special one as well, so please greet us.
Okay. And first of all, I'd like to say in the name of Allah, the Master Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I greet my brothers and sisters in the nation's greetings of peace, of Assalamu alaikum, Hotep, and Islam. My name is Sister Lorraine Muhammad. My nonprofit is called Our Time and the Ministry of Love. And I want to thank the brothers for inviting me here for such a subject that's so vital in our community. We're going to talk about economics and Black wealth in our community. And it's really been heavy on my mind. So I want to thank you both for inviting me. It's a concern. Every block, every corner that you go in, not only in Wilmington, in Philadelphia, Chester, every corner store has paraphernalia in it. We talking about bongs, smoking weed, everything. Now, they're in our community. When I say there, I mean people of color that's not our color. So growing up in the community and growing up in Harlem, we had our own stores, mom and pops. You can say, the candy store, the shoemaker, the fish and chip. Okay, we going down memory lane. So as time went on, it was sabotage in the Black community where they actually plan to take our economic wealth out of the community and put others in there and give them loans that they don't have to pay back until like 5 or 10 years, meaning the Koreans, the Indians, the Arabs, everybody come in our community store, even to the point we don't even have a liquor store or cleaners. Things that we do might still have as barbershops because they hadn't gotten to the point where they cut out here.
Exactly.
Okay, when they get that far, nails, hair salons, So I just reading and listening to the news and putting things together, me being an auntie and just listening to our youth. So and so. Oh yeah, he was selling drugs and he went to jail. Oh yeah, you didn't know he was, yeah. And then you see in the news journal, 5 bags of crack cocaine and fentanyl, this and that. But yet you got right there on our corner stores, you exciting our community not only to purchase it, but also to go to jail. So they filling us up, filling our youth and those who are out there to put them in jail. And then you're going to have them profiting off of the paraphernalia and then taking the money out and taking it and sending it back to their country. So where's the wealth?
Islam.
So what do we do about it? That's my question. What do? We just sit back and just allow this to continue to happen? I read some articles in different other cities. They boycotted. They said they want them out there. I think that even those who say that they Muslims, and I looked around, and you selling pork in your store in our community. And I'm not supposed to say nothing or get upset. You say, Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullah, barakatuh. And then you turn around and you selling pork in your store. So what does that look like? And what should we do about this? I mean, every corner. I just drove around Wilmington, and it's like it's okay. It's all pretty. It's big. It's the lights are gleaming. It's like you know, it's there's barely even food. There's no fruit. There's no
No real
vegetables
food.
in them corner stores, but yet you got that. And a lot of people don't have transportation, so they rely on the corner store. High price.
The price is crazy.
Prices are crazy. So what you think about that? What do you think we could do, brothers?
You said it. You said the word boycott. That's step one. I mean, just
Okay.
pull the dollars first. Like, just stop giving them the dollars first. But there has to be an alternative, which is where the issue lies. Like you said, it's called a convenience store for a reason. It's called a corner store for a reason. It's right there in the corner. They would have to walk past it to get somewhere else. They'd have to take a bus to get somewhere else. And if they can just go right there, they're going to do that. But, we have to try to be on more corners. We need to have, more Black-owned, Moorish-owned, Asiatic-owned businesses in our communities that are, that are close by. And we need to, find a way to support each other. And like I said, first step is pulling a dollar. Stop giving them the dollars. It's unfortunate because what they're selling is addictive. They're selling things that with the
Right.
food, whether it be the tobacco, whether it be
Yes.
the paraphernalia, whatever it is, it's things that our people are addicted to. It's hard for them to stop. It's not just, oh, I need food, I can only go here. No, they're just addicted to these potato chips. They're addicted to this sugary soda. They're addicted to the tobacco or whatever the stuff is.
Right.
So in more ways than one it's upsetting because they're not only pulling the dollars, they're pulling our health.
Yes.
Right.
they're,
That's right.
They're pulling the dollar. They're taking our money and killing us at the same time. Like we're paying to die.
My.
It weighs heavy on my heart, and that's why I get so fired up about health, because it's like, hey, can we be real mindful of what we're putting into our mouths? And not only are you paying like I said, not only are you giving somebody away your money, but they're also giving you something that's harming you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So be real mindful what you're putting into your body. That's something that, when my daughter was born is what happened for me. My daughter was born, and I was like real conscious of, okay, what am I giving to her? And like, what is this?
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And then I had to really take a real big step back. And, back then I consider myself agnostic or atheist even, where I didn't even necessarily believe in God or know what that meant. I was just like, yeah, whatever, people go to church, I don't know, ain't for me. And nowadays it's like, wow, it really woke me up to, God is real and God provides. And we should be eating what God provides for us. And not what
Yes.
the devil has tricked up for us when put a nice little cute logo on. We should get back to what nature has provided for us, because we need to be in line with that, and that's where our help is going to be coming back.
So true.
So true.
Yeah, just listen again. I'm honored and delighted to have you.
And you
here on
are.
this. Yeah.
And your name is?
Well, I'm just your brother, man, Brother Bay. Just Brother Bay. A lot of people know me as the governor of Delaware, state of Moor, Science Temple of America. But I'm just your brother. I'm just here, speaking on a topic that needs to be spoken about.
Yes.
Again, but I'm delighted to have you here on the Moor
Thank you.
Culture Center podcast show. You are definitely a pillar in our community.
Thank you.
The words that you're speaking, of course, we've heard these words before, but just the impact now, we're living in a new age. And so the impact now it's a time now that we have to stand up or be ran over. So I was just talking to a brother, and I won't name his name, but me and the brother was talking about this topic.
Okay.
A little bit before it came across my desk that we were going to talk about it. And we were talking about how, and I'm not singling out any group, but in particularly brothers who come from the East, right? They know that in their own country they would not be able to get away with this. And that's bringing us to the title,
Absolutely.
the Haram hustle.
Hustle,
You know,
yes.
that
The Haram hustle.
you can't go to Saudi Arabia and sell a pack of cigarettes. You can't go to some parts of India and sell liquor. This is true. But when they come to America, right, and they try to get like we all are so-called chasing. I gave up the chase a long time ago because I got the key. But they're all chasing the American dream about capitalism, dollars, etc. And so, we've had conversations with me and the brother. We confronted them, and they say straight out, yeah, I can't do this at home.
Okay.
Me selling this, to your people is no disrespect to your people, and even then, that's a slight disrespect, right?
Right.
To say like you already know the sin, right? They say to ignore a fact is real ignorance about it, right?
Okay.
Someone being ignorant is the one to know something and to ignore it and do it anyway. So being really ignorant and saying, oh well, I really don't do this at home, but hey, it's okay here. And so that kind of springs us back, like I said, back to the title, Haram hustle. It is known that they are offering poison to our children.
Yes.
It is known that they're offering, false hopes. The word you said, enticing. They're enticing our youth. They're enticing our elderly. Used to be a song by Gil Scott-Heron, right, called "In the Bottle," right?
Right.
If you know, you know, right? But you said, some of those lyrics in that song, it just said, it's a bottle. It's a bottle. If it be a pill bottle, prescription drug. And I know you brought it all the way there to the fact about the food.
Right.
Right. Even in our own consciousness, things that we eat, like you said, potato chips. Whoa. Potato chips. Yes. We came to an age where we started looking at ingredients. And then we came to an age where we said, okay, we're going to be conscious or be aware of what we're eating, but we're allowing this to happen. Right.
Yes.
And because that we may hit the mat maybe 5 times a day, it's okay. And it's not okay. But because we may greet each other with rhetoric of greetings, right? And there's nothing wrong. Again, there's nothing wrong with having that bond with your brothers and sisters. But when they step that line and they separate you from the belief of which in Islam is the respect for all things. And the care of all things. So your brother, your sister, that's a part of Islam, right? The having, again, to have that respect for your own brother, your sister, who profess in the religion of Abraham, right? For those who know. And so you get into a fine line when you say, oh, well, it's okay to have some haram products, but I still have this high cholesterol Twinkie on the shelf. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. Like the word was already used. It's a master word. Boycotting. Boycotting has worked for our people in so many levels. On top of that is, like you said, awareness. Some of those things that we are letting slide, we just can't let slide no more. All right, we have to be like broadcasts like today. We're bringing awareness to it.
Right.
Like I heard you speak about how other cities are reacting, and it's sad sometimes that someone has to do something before it has to, like, it gets to it, and it gets to a point where it just has to be that point. Like, think about it. How many times did McDonald's run their multi-million-dollar corporation until somebody sued them? Right. So let's be realistic. Right. It's sad because we always knew not to eat it. Right. But until someone sued it because they felt that they was an injustice, Right. So, y'all know me, I'm the lawman. So, I mean, I'm not going to stretch out and say we're going to sue people, corporations, but I'll just leave it there.
But the thing is, brother, you made a good point. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing in our community. They know what's happening. But down the line, we have to save ourselves. The teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, Master Farrakhan Muhammad, we have a book called How to Eat to Live. And we've been out for years on how to eat to live. And the most important thing is to do for self.
Yep.
In our community, start opening up our own businesses. Put our monies together and support our own business. We don't have to rely on these corner stores. We don't have to. We could just open up stores. What happened to that? What happened?
We
We
have
get
stores.
together and put our monies together and open up a store. We don't even have a grocery store.
Mm.
But then yet again, I seen on social media, there are other brothers and sisters out there that's buying and putting up grocery stores to feed your own community. We can no longer sit back and say, why they feeding us that and how. No, do for self.
Exactly.
You know what?
Do for self.
But you know what? I didn't want to cut your thought, but it just brought something to my mind. You know
Uh-huh.
what's really deep about that? On side of someone who professes a religion that we profess, right? You also have so many other obstacles, and these are no excuses, but you have so many other obstacles. Beautiful sister, for years running a healthy, clean franchise of food and health and awareness. They attacked her.
Yeah.
You know, they attacked her, and many times she would put out the cry for help, and the community would answer. But again, the attacks didn't stop, and so it's when you're on the battlefield, you're on the battlefield.
Right.
You know, you got to keep your eyes on a swivel, because not including those who look like me, right? And I'm talking about the mom and pop stores too, because that's a lot of culture that's lost, like you were speaking about. And again, I'm not condoning alcohol and I'm not condoning cigarettes, but I'm speaking about times back in the day when you were in the community and they might have sent little Joe or little Sue to go to the store, and there'll be those grassroots organizations that were there, right? And that was a communal type of environment. Or in a situation where and now I'm gonna throw that out there. It's a liquor store not too far away from here named Favors Liquors. I used to know the family that owned Favors Liquors, and they were Asiatic. Some time ago, I was remembering this, but some time ago, I was around when they sold their franchise to other people who just didn't care. Now, I'll be honest with you, that whole aspect of when I was young, I used to go into there and I tried to get over. They wouldn't let that go because it was our people. It was our people looking and saying, "Oh no, this ain't for you. No, this ain't right." You know, and even in the store next to it, in that position, that was a mom and pop store that was attacked by, and we just call it like it is, 3-letter, 4-letter groups that are masking themselves. And I spoke about this at the city council meeting, masking themselves as developers. So the whole idea of just coming in to develop and build these great stores that no consequence to our health, right? But we allow it to happen. And so, you know, what happens, like you said, we have to rally together. We have to pull together, and not just our dollars. We have to pull together our greatest minds. Yes. Our greatest minds need to come together and find out how to do some defensive attack, right? You can't just sit here and take blows all day. In boxing, you leave your guard down, you're going to get hit all day.
You're knocked
and
out.
So you get knocked out. And so we've been getting knocked out. We've been coming to before the 10 come. But at the end of the day, we go right back down, hit the mat. And I think that's just atrocious to me.
But my question is, I've been listening and I've been watching on the news, and just, you can't go in Chinatown. You can't go in other communities and just open up a store like that. Who does that? They don't. No, you can't. They speak out. But who's speaking out for us? Who's speaking out for us, and who's listening to us? I know I'm not the first time that, people, what is this going on? I even have family members who, with that fentanyl, you see Congo's funeral home and Wright's funeral homes, they trying to take out funeral homes. They didn't want the property where Congo have his place, and then they find out that it's thriving, they got money there, they want to attack everything, they want to come in. We have to start standing behind each other and the businesses that are here and supporting the restaurants, the Black-owned restaurants. A few things that we do have here, we can support them, put our literature in the store, have meetings, and economic meetings, like talk about business and what we can do with the money in our community and help our children. Just every day. so and so and so. You know, he died off that fentanyl. Yeah, what? But but you yet you go to support, go down there and buy like he said, potato chips and get some meat, some milk from the store, and get me some Pepsi. But those are the same people that have the paraphernalia and the drug thing in our community.
Mm-hmm.
So they're supporting our deaf in our community for our youth. Right there. They don't care what age they are. I stood in the store and watched a young boy coming in. He said, "How old are you?" He said, "Give me that." He wanted some kind of wrapping paper, and he didn't have enough. And he looked at me and said, "You have a quarter?" I looked at him and said, "No."
But he gave it to him.
No, he didn't give it to him. He made the boy go out, and they wouldn't even give him. They wouldn't give him nothing. In many stores I've watched, a brother or sister might go in there and say, "Oh, I got $1.75. Can I get a sandwich?" No, no, no.
Yeah, I mean, you said what should we do? You said it right there. It's take care of the businesses that we do have. We have businesses there.
Yes,
that's a
support
big reason why we're doing this podcast is to bring. You're our first guest. I mean, we waited
Thank you.
too long for a guest, but we wanted to get everything right. You know, we upgraded the microphones. We got a little bit better stuff. We got a new location for the. So we're just improving, making sure we bring a guest into a good environment, but. It's about unification, like what we're going to be talking about later with brother Robert Muhammad. But we need to help each other, you know, do for self. And, you know, I believe what you started on was something that reminded me of Dr. Claude Anderson when you were talking about the other races, other groups getting grants and getting money to come and tax-free and benefits and all these different things that we haven't been afforded. But yet they're giving to foreigners to come in and sell poison in our communities. And, you know, I feel like that's something I heard from Dr. Claude Anderson's book. And, you know, it just, you know, makes me think about how we really need to just be working together as much as possible.
Well, just the simple thing that if you know anything about H. Rap Brown, when he came out of jail, he was in jail with the Black Panthers. When he came out, he went and cleaned up his community. He built a mosque on the corner, got all the drug dealers off it, and cleaned up the community and everything. If you know the story about it, he became an imam. And I was reading the story. He did very good. What did they do? They sent in the CIA, FBI, and they started watching and seeing what he was doing. And the agents, So they say, "Oh yeah, he cleaned up the community, got all the drugs and crack and every respect, and built a mosque right there on the corner." What did they do? They had the agents go in there and betrayed him and go in there and say that he had killed he shot a cop, or he did something was going on. All of them was lying on him, and they were saying that, and he's in jail with cancer. So even though we do step out there, they let us know, look what happened when you step out there and try to do something and clean up your community. And he has a mosque. Are you aware of that?
Where's it at?
I think it's in Atlanta.
Okay.
And he cleaned up what we're saying he done.
Yeah.
And what they did, the government watched and seen he cleaned up the community. He built a mosque up there. He had the brothers and sisters. It's on YouTube. You could go on YouTube and watch it. And then they set him up again. And said that he locked him up. He wasn't nowhere near the crime, didn't have no blood on him or anything, but they locked him up. So they saying, in other words, if you do what you're doing, if you do good, we're going to lock you up. We're going to make an example out of you.
Wow.
Or they'll drop a bomb on you.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Let's talk about that.
Just going on.
The anniversary.
Yeah. I mean, respect to all the political prisoners.
Respect.
Yeah, that's
and martyrs and all and all the ancestors that have been literally slain and murdered, taken off of this physical plane just for building, outside of the system they allow you or want you to be building in.
I mean, you know, and even with that reminder of you're going to have a target on your back if you step out and be different. You know, we need people who are, as the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches us, upright, independent, and fearless.
Islam.
That fearless part is no joke. You know, it's
Islam. Yes.
It's something that, you know, a lot of us, when they say we have courage enough for truth, you know, once knowing the truth, again, it goes back to that ignorance thing. But knowing the truth is one thing, then applying the truth. And I want to give honest to the brother from New York who came a few weeks back, but just the application is what he was talking about. So knowing things like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to do this, and then taking a stand, and then even in your own subtly, some of the things that I and I don't agree with all of them all the time, but some of the leader guys, as Brother Todd say, the leader guys that everybody likes, were starting these boycotts, right? And it was with good spirit and good heart, right? But what happened, right? Some of those same places that people were so truly to be against, they were in the next week. And so we have to be, consistent. Again, the Prophet Noble Ali teaches us about the inconsistency of man and how we're fickle. We'll be in one way one day and another day we're another thing. But, just having consistency and having the courage for truth, I think that's what we're seeing. And it's a new age. We have many ancestors who have came and spoke about this. I mean, even in reaching the people that we're reaching now on a blog talk or on a podcast or on a stream, whatever venues, that we may use in this new age, to try to reach the people, it's new, And so I always say this, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, because there's so many ways to be creative in combating, like I was speaking about before, the enemy. And if you don't know, there is an enemy that is planning on your own demise. But the reality of it is are you your worst enemy, right? And that's some of the things that we teach the most about having an understanding about self. And so when you have that self-realization, a lot of things start to change, identifying your weaknesses. And again, my weakness happened to be potato chips. So you put me out there.
Everybody, it's like
put me out there.
Pop, it's like the Pringles. Once you pop, you can't
stop.
I'm just saying.
And those are brands, right? We know these things, right? We just that's a shameless plug right there off of the Moor Culture Center podcast they just got. But the reality of it is that we know that it's a lot of brainwashing to be done. And I don't mean that, to scare nobody. I'm talking about a lot of re-education.
Brainwashing. Right. Everybody's programs. But what programming do you have? Even if you think you don't have a program, you have a program. Everybody's programs. And then there's other programs you're installing, like a computer. There's not just one program. You have 5, 6, 7, 8 programs that do different things. So what program do you have? You might have to clean your program. You might have to delete a program. You have to reinstall a new one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to point. Sister Lorraine Muhammad, you're at the mosque.
Mosque 35.
There we go. That's where you go to get your brain washed. And don't be scared of the word.
That's right.
Don't be scared of the word. You come here, 715 North King Street, the Moor Culture Center. You come here.
Give me a Brillo pad. I need a Brillo pad for some of these.
Get that brain
washed. Brillo pad.
Yes.
Uninstall some of these programs off your computer, off your operating system. And come install some new programming, because we have I promise you, this program, you might need to upgrade your processor before you can get the program. But we can upgrade your computer, and you can get the new software installed.
Because you're saying that, brother, which is absolutely true, because of the book of Cloyd Anderson, and what he said is about that we have to start seeking knowledge, clearing other files out to put new things out. And he spoke about that.
What book was that?
I think it was it's Cloyd Anderson. And was it can't come to my.
But we get it. Right, we'll get it for you pretty soon.
It could be white.
What is it?
Black labor, white wealth, maybe, or it could be powernomics.
I think
powernomics.
I was just saying it sounds like powernomics.
It sounds like powernomics.
Yeah, we like books here.
Yeah. So, different writers and different knowledge, even though I'm in the Nation of Islam, I have abundance of knowledge because of my father, Leroy 3X, who studied under Noble Drew Ali. And I had uncles and followed Marcus Garvey. I come from a strong background of different nationalities and what they thought about. My mom, she was a Pentecostal. Then she became an Eastern Star. So this is something that I learned growing up, because I was the baby. My brothers and sisters, they went right into the Nation of Islam, with my father. But I thank Allah for my parents, because they didn't push me into anything. They seen I was all over the place. I wanted to do this, but I wasn't forced to receive my ex. I waited a while,
Mm-hmm.
seeing what I wanted to do. And then after a while, I said, well, I heard Minister Farrakhan was in Harlem. And they said, come on, sister, come on with us. I said, oh, no, my father, he sells that paper, Muhammad Speaks. They, well, come on, they had nice, pretty cars. So I was like, wow, they got cars. Come on, y'all, let's go. And Minister Farrakhan had spoke. And it touched me. What he was saying, it touched me. And they said, how many of you believe today was the truth for the, the black man and the black woman? And so I raised my hand, and a couple other young sisters in the projects, we all raised our hand. And we got up, wrote our letters, received our ex. And it's been a journey ever since the 1970, and it's 2025.
Praise Allah.
So, I've been in this for a long time, and it saddens me to see that, this whole thing is evolving, but we have to sit back and say Allah's the best knower. We know this thing is going to turn, but are we all going to still be on our posts? Are we all going to still believe, or you going to fall out?
Yeah.
Because you got agents that Hotep, Islam, Assalamu alaikum, yeah. And if you're not studying and you're not really trying to do what you brothers are doing, I admire what you're doing.
Peace.
I admire what you brothers. And then we had the topic. What's the topic, y'all? Say it again.
The Haram
hustle. Haram hustle. I like that.
Robbery of generational wealth.
Robbery of generational
wealth.
Right.
Generational wealth. So I've seen this come. I've seen it go. I've seen. We started out, everybody fired up. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I am so proud and so honored. I knew you brothers for a long time, watching what you do in the community, changing, what's the young youth minds and what's going on. So you're a fine example of what it looks like. Okay, if I could sit back and I talk, drop my little seeds here and there. I'm not forcing nobody or whatever. But as a mom, and then as an auntie in the community, I just sisters, no, that's not what you do. This is how, talk to them like that. Stop saying, oh, they don't want to listen. Oh, they don't want to listen. I ain't going to tell them nothing. No, talk to them. Somebody told me, they said, you just like a horse. You talk to a horse a certain way. You talk to the youth a certain way. Don't be yelling at them and screaming because they're going to fight back. What you mean? No, I ain't, talk to them like auntie. Say, hey, baby. No, we don't do that. Come on now. Come on, let me talk to you for a minute. To, show love. Stop saying they don't need this, they don't know. Because let me tell you, go in other communities, they all talk. And they don't. And one thing we need to stop doing, another thing, I don't want to change the subject. Stop downing each other in the public on social media. You don't see no Jewish community, no other community. They don't down theirs in public. They may get in the back and sit, get them in the back and talk. But right there with that social media, we're banging each other, we're talking about each other, we're downgrading each other, and then not like they're not watching, like the brother said, what you said, you had to clean out the
hard drive.
The hard drive. They make sure that they do theirs behind, but they know everything that we're doing. Because why? Because of that social media. That's another thing.
And speaking of others coming into our communities and perpetuating this stuff. It's the same way with the internet. I mean, we're obviously on their platforms when it comes to the Facebooks and the YouTubes, and then they don't show us certain things, but let us see other things.
Yes,
but a lot of platforms such as like DJ Vlad or Adam 22. There's a lot of these platforms.
Are we good with DJ Vlad right now? Hold on. Are we good with DJ?
Of course not.
Hey, man. I don't know about DJ Vlad right now. I gotta look over to the council and see. We with DJ Vlad.
Hey, he said he apologized.
Yeah, I said it.
But I didn't feel it.
No.
Anyway, we gonna keep it to the.
But the point is, people we're going on those platforms, on their platforms, letting him make money off of us arguing with each other.
Yes,
point taken.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to down each other, in front of each other, because I seen they had the boxing match in Chase Center, or with a 87ers player, Delaware Blue Coats. They had Gilly and Wallow had the boxing match. Did you hear about that?
No.
Cops had to come and shut it down But I
Wow.
had, I mean, it did get,
Yeah, I
it
seen
got a
Gilly. I
little,
seen Gilly. Young Gilly. He was ranting and raving about it, but it was a lot to that.
it got a little extra,
It
but
was a lot to
I'm
that.
getting at least is our own production that we're making money off of, and we're boxing each other in the ring. Like, it's one thing to have our own organization of us boxing each other, but to go for entertainment reasons, because boxing is already happening. So if you're already going to go box and want to make money, then box for somebody that cares about you somewhat. You would expect, or is employing our family. So we're all being able to make money instead of fighting each other to make somebody else rich and taking
Well,
money out of our community.
absolutely. But the thing is that if you look at it, and I think I read it and I've seen it somewhere, when the rappers and they make money and they become financially wealth, what you may say, they make sure that they don't give back to the community. You could do anything else, but
Yeah.
don't give back to you. All what'll go happen to all the rappers, all of them
Yeah.
that made money, all the boxers, all what happened? They couldn't come back in the community and do anything,
It's
open any
interesting.
stores, and the ones that did, what was the young boy they killed him in Chicago?
Oh, you talking about Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle, and
Man.
we go back in your community and try to help out and do what you do. Then they see what we're doing in our community. They keep no. You could do this, but don't give back to your community.
Yeah.
That's
Peace be
like a
upon them.
no.
Yeah, it's a programming they have because they give you the money and then
Right.
they literally say, okay, now go call this lawyer, go call this person for the car, go call this person for your jewelry. They literally give them a Rolodex of here's where you spend your money at. So here's a whole bunch of money and here's where you spend it at.
Yeah,
And
but I'm saying, what about coming back into your community?
exactly.
There's few. I read a few. We have social media. They came back to the community, maybe built up some houses, opened up some stores, but that's just like a few.
Yeah. Surely
Yeah.
not enough. I
Yeah.
heard Kodak Black is doing a lot of stuff that's not being broadcasted in Florida, but I'm not sure exactly.
Well,
Oh wow.
I just wanted to speak on that for a second.
Go
I mean,
ahead.
it's a sad fact. The percentile is very low of and I'm not just going to talk about entertainers. I'm just talking about anyone who has
Yes.
economic power.
Yes.
They fail drastically to come back to the community where they are, or where they have started from. Excuse me. So it kind of that's that other part to that.
Yes.
The
The
economic wealth,
economic wealth. Yes.
the economic wealth that's been, like we said, that's being stolen from us, robbed from us. Like, we are the gross of dollars, and I'm saying that as clear as I can. Like, we are the economic backbone for the United States of America. Even then, you look on the news. I don't have to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to tell you. You look on the news, you see the commander in chief of the United States of America making deals in areas where deals are made. And I got to be very careful because
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to have this shutdown like the last one. But I'm saying this to say this: we had a few, right? We had a few, like, and again, it goes back to that. We're gonna make a martyr or an example out of you.
Yes.
One person I'm thinking about right now is Kobe Bryant.
Mm.
Like, he did a lot, for the community. But what happened with Kobe Bryant? How was that cut so short? That's why economic security is so important to teach inside of our homes. In our, it's good to have, and this is all part of the scheme, right? In having spiritual advancement, that's one part. Having self-realization and identity, that's another part, right? But economic security is a whole nother demonstration. So having economic security, I think, will combat as well some of the things that we're seeing. So now I got to come out with my own chip. That's okay. What's the bad stuff in chips? Gluten free.
The oil. Potatoes aren't too bad. But it's the oil,
right?
When you fry it in the oil, and especially if you add salt. But a little bit of sea salt and avocado oil, it's not that bad on a potato chip. Just don't want to gorge yourself on it.
Go crazy with the sodium and all these
other
things.
A little bit of sea salt, avocado oil, or olive oil or avocado oil on a potato with some sea salt.
Just that simple plan: a little bit of avocado, a little bit of oil, we can have some chips, right? We can have some chips to combat, right? And so just giving that alternative, giving that option. Again, like I said, our ancestors have spoke about a time when we're going to rise up, a time when we're going to wake up, a time when we're going to act. And I think the time is now. I mean, there's still some time to be living, you know. We all got some time to be living, right? But I think that time is now. You know, with again, some of the, especially in the city here, you know, I got to just give honest where honest is due. In the city, this is a hub of great masterminds, and I don't use that term lightly. But again, this is in a play. It's also about giving the flowers where flowers are belong. I've rose up in consciousness from this woman sitting right here, this matriarch. So even then, with the different programs that you put on about health and nutrition, inviting people like Dr. Kaba. Yeah, come on now, like, you know, health, nutrition, speaking directly to our people. You know, so I'm not telling you anything, but just those who may be listening that want to get on in that hustle, that's the hustle, not the issue of having a no choices, but having a choice and being the choice, you know?
Yes. Well, dude, this young brother right here, if I needed any security, I didn't even have to ask. The Moors, the brothers with this brother, he had them all there. Everything was secure, everything was tight, and we worked together. I have a nonprofit which is called Our Time, and
let's shameless plug that a little bit. We got a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about your nonprofit, a little bit more about that.
Okay. Nonprofit, I came up with the word Our Time because it is our time. And I had this idea of how I wanted to get out to the people and have better audience and speakers to speak to people. So I went to school, got a grant, and, you know, a lot of people say, oh, we don't take money from the white man. But when you get your check, what does it say? FICA, FICIA, what's that? White man give you a check, right? So don't knock me. So anyway, so I just put it on my heart, went out there and applied for grants, brought in Minister Hafiz, Brother Abel, Brother Robert Naba from the Final Call newspaper, Brother Kaba, and many, many more so they could speak. And so we was on it. Everybody was, Wilmington was really on it. And I thank Allah for the Moors, Islam, and the Hotep. And Brother Kaba came and we all spoke. Everything's running well. Richard Raw performed. He did a phenomenal, great job. He was on board with us. So I took it to another level. And my thing is for women and women's children of the parents who's incarcerated. And so I had a vision and I said, well, Mother, if anybody know Queen Mother in Baki, she said, it's time for you to go. And I was saying, time for me to go? Where? You know, it was like the Matrix. And she said, to go home. And I said, I am home. Look how ignorant I am. I'm home. She said, no, I want you to go speak with your ancestors and find out your journey, and you're going to Ghana. And I said, I'm going to Ghana? And she said, yeah, get ready. Baba too, and Brother Balagoon, they'll be leaving. So get your passport and you get your paperwork and you have to go. And I thank Allah. I thank Allah. It was so much. Be careful how you telling people you're going to get married or you're going on a trip. Because so much negative came out. I was so excited telling people, yeah, I'm going to Africa. What, they got trees over there? They got roofs over there? Oh, them people be eating monkeys. You know, so you got to be careful about what you're saying and what your journey and you're going to do because everybody's not on it. I learned that. And even when I went first over to Ghana, when I first, I had never been on a plane that long, but I was told to sleep the day before so my body can be adjusted to go on a flight. So I thank Allah for Sister Maimuna, Queen Mother, and all those who inspired me to go, Brother Balagoon, Brother Babatu, all of y'all who encouraged me and helped me. move forward. It's hard to get off this atmosphere. I'm telling you. Start planning a trip to go overseas and see what forces was try to pull you. They never want us to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Steve Harvey said, he literally went to tears when he went over to the door of no return, the Castle of Mina. And even Barack Obama, he said when he went there, how his whole aspect of him getting emotional about Michelle, how he looked at us. So they were saying the same things. That, yeah, Sister Lorraine, when you get ready to go over Garland, you go to the door of no return. And man, when you go down there, you going to feel something. I was like, me, New York, I ain't going to be feeling
School of
nothing.
hard knocks, right?
You know, I'm like, I'm going to be going through there. What? Hey, you know. So I went in the mansion, and this is where they had the room where the women would be, and uh, they would hang these people and handcuff them to the wall. And then I went in that room and I looked, and it was just a sadness that came over me. I seen little handcuffs, little baby handcuffs on the wall. Was they handcuffing our children, our babies? So as the tourists and everybody was in there, I waited until and I said, "Excuse me, can I stay here, take a picture and everything?" And I had to say, I said, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar." So I said a prayer in that room where they sodomized and beat the women. And it was like a relief, like little sparks. When the brother was taking the pictures, you could see the sparks where the cleanse is had cleansed that actually room where they did some horrific. And we should never forget. And that's why I took my nonprofit to another level of exposing and I've been going back and forth to Ghana since 2011, bringing people with me, my family members, exposing. If you ever get a chance, go home and see your ancestors. Speak to the ancestors. Put your foot in the ocean, the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. That's what and talk to the women there. That's what I do. That's my nonprofit. And I tell them, you don't have to, no, you don't have to. No, don't let no man put their hands on you. You are not to be, I speak, they say, oh, thank you. And I got my name. The women there, the queen mothers, they gathered around and they said, you are Ya Asantiwa. And I said, Ya Asantiwa? And they kept saying, come get your tea, come drink. I said, no, my name is Lorraine. They said, no, your name, no, Ya Asantiwa. So then I said, why they keep calling me that? That's not my name. You know, and the elders were saying, yeah, Asantiwa, and they all approved on it. So they said, Sister Lorraine, you have gotten your name from your ancestors. Your name is Ya Asantiwa. She was a warrior.
I know it's going to get to that point.
She put on men's clothes, and the men wouldn't fight the British that came over there into Africa. Ashanti tribe. She whooped them out. She had no fear. She put on men's clothes and she went in the men's scene and she was out there doing her thing. They followed behind her. So while I was there, I was like, do y'all have a picture of her or anything or a statue? They said, yes, tomorrow we will take you there so you can see her statue.
I'm loving the accent.
And I was like, okay. I was all excited and everything. So I'm talking about how I continue with my nonprofit and took it overseas. I've done my work here overseas, talking with the brothers and sisters and, even how to purchase, and we bought land. I'm putting money in with an organization.
That part.
So we can, it might be as big as this room. I'm not going to say I have a whole half of Wilmington or something, but I'm with a group that we do have. I have a little shea butter tree there. I have something if I want to build a 1-bedroom, at least I got land.
And we could use some shea butter here.
And that part, we can invest in money as far as gold and diamonds. And so I'll get to that. So I got to see the statue, and we drove around, and I said, oh, can I get out? And I looked at her, and she looks just like me. I literally had tears in my eyes.
Wow.
So the blessing is, try to get your passport before this whole crazy thing about passports, and we all know about that. But anyway, and go over to Africa, whatever part you want to go, Nigeria, whatever, go. You'll come back with I've come back with a whole different, um, what you would say, culture minded. Not only what we have learned here, but actually what I saw there. Do you know that in Ghana or overseas, and there's no welfare?
Mm.
There's no
Believe it.
social security, SSI,
Believe it.
disability.
System.
When you wake up, everybody is working. You go water, anybody water? Oh, okay, come here, come here. WW no, everybody talking, everybody working. Everybody's working. Ain't nobody sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's working, and I want to thank Allah for sisters who seen something into me for me to take my first step to go. And these brothers right here was backing me to help me to get the money to go. So I want to thank the Moors and those who believed in me. And when I went to their stores, when the brother talk about food and potato chips, don't you know? If you go on my social media page, I actually was filmed it. You go into the grocery stores overseas. They don't let American food in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We looked, as I said, well, I'm tired of eating this hot food. I want some American food. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got any grits? Y'all got any this? Okay, so they was like, yeah, we'll take you shopping. And we started laughing. I don't eat no grits, but let's go. So we went. You look at their cereal, and it got like 4 ingredients in it. You come to the U.S., you got like 30 ingredients in their
Craziness.
foods. And the first thing you see when you go shopping, they don't take American food. Did you know that?
Yeah, I absolutely knew that. They have a lot of the same brands, like you said.
But they don't have-
They'll have K-Logs, they'll
No,
have this, but they
no.
don't have the same ingredients. They're different.
I learned something today. I didn't know that.
No.
I
Most
thought
countries
they did have some kind
No,
of
most
brands there, but-
most countries do not take United States food. It's not it's just a health thing. They just don't. We're the only ones here that because it's here. But other countries they ban it. They know we don't want
I've
that.
read
No.
on the internet, of course, again,
No.
but I've seen the list of like accept it, not accept it. Like even even with like the gummies, even right now, I don't even mess around with Harborough gummy bears if it don't come from Turkey. So just learning.
No,
Just
no,
learning.
they don't accept that. So when you said, "Well, I'm taking I already took my nonprofit to a different level," is or the school. We have the school there helping the children. I correspond back and forth with Brother Babatu. If you want to give out his information, he's on social media. He has a school. A school there that we can use all the support that he can. The building is big, it's huge. Got different rooms where brothers and sisters can travel over there. You can go speak. I can put you all together. So if the Moors or if the brothers want to go, they have a place to go and a place to stay. And of course, you're going to a continent. Stop saying it's a country; it's a continent. And you don't want to go to no continent without security. They knew I was from the Nation of Islam. They love Minister Farrakhan. They loved the minister. So and Rollins was the president there. And in Ghana, they had Savior's Day in Ghana. So when I went and they see me with my chiffon on, and sometimes I wrap my head up, they knew who I was, and they respect that. But we have to start going back. That's my goal now with my nonprofit is bringing others back so they can see what it really looks like. You can wear all the African garments if you want, but if you ain't never stepped your foot, I'm talking about in the dirt.
Yep.
Not because we in concrete over here. Well, that's why because we can't connect with ourselves. The brother was telling us when we were sitting in the group in Ghana, and he was saying the concrete we can't identify because we're not touching the dirt.
Yep. Yep.
We're not touching the dirt for ourselves. And take your shoes off and put your feet in the dirt. You'll see the different energy. So all the information that I get, I bring it back to sisters and brothers. But I'm just saying, sharing. If you ever want to go back, there's Brother Babatu, there's Brother Balagoon, Sister Mbaki, Sister Maimuna. These are the people that you can get in touch with if you ever want to go. It will be a life experience. Now, I've been going back and forth since 2011. I'm nowhere where I was when I first went there.
Of course, you can't be.
You know, I'm talking about spiritually, mentally. I look at things different because they said the ancestors will ride with you. And I said, where they riding at? You know what I'm saying? Their spirit will be riding on your shoulder. That's a saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you can invest in gold. I'm with a group. I'm not going to say I got a whole lot, but I do have some.
Of course.
So the dollar bill is nothing but a paper, but they show you how to trade
Mm.
and commerce. And when you go there, you don't see a lot of people like us in them rooms.
Mm.
I'm just trying to tell you.
Yeah, that part.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you're taking it to the next level.
Yeah,
I mean, we
You
have
got to
to.
get off this concrete because as
Of
long as
course.
you're on this concrete and you don't go, like they said, I didn't understand it, but the art that they have there, you just look at the art and amazing how our people are and how ignorant we are because we don't know the Western teaches us and show us all the bad part
Mm-hmm.
about overseas or Africa. So when I went to get, and I don't go get all the vaccines to go to overseas to go to Ghana because I don't kiss animals, gorillas, and sit with lions. That I don't do. But you take the food vaccines that you might need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the thing is that when you go and they say, "Oh, here's a pamphlet right here. And when you go to over there to Ghana, it's best not to go out at night. Stay in your hotel and don't socialize with anybody." So I went. We was on the tourist. This the first time I went. We was on a tourist bus, and it was like, "Oh no, look." I said, "Sure, all I gotta do is get out, put my jewelry inside, and start talking like them. Hello." They ain't gonna bother me. look at my. Well, I got off that bus like everybody else did. Yeah, you know. So I'm just showing you how others are going and they're doing trade. And
Yeah.
I may not have a lot, but there's a group. There's a group where money can. We talking about halal. We talking about money. We talking about haram. We talking about this. We can do things as individuals because people are making money. The Indians are over there. The Mexicans are over there. Everybody's over there doing trade. It ain't like I can't. I can go on. You can go online, but I'm with the right people. I'm not saying you could just go out there and do it, but with a group of people, you can. So I have my own generational wealth because something happened to me. I pass it down. That little bit of land, it might be big enough to make a little 2-bedroom and a little this, but my family member who would maybe want to go over or whatever, at least they have something. Leave something for your children or yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't make no whole lot of money, but I do have when I took the classes about how land and found people who I can trust. And beautiful homes. Go on my Facebook, Lorraine Muhammad, and Ghana, look for Ghana. You see they have beautiful homes, but there's so much damage that our people they just can't even get the fandom to get up to go.
Seriously.
That part.
Seriously.
So we talking about wealth. You can get wealth. You can get your land. You can purchase gold. And I'm talking about 14 karat because when I went there, I said you have these in 14 karat. They said 14. Oh no, we don't sell 14, 24. No, they don't. We the only ones here 14 karat. I didn't know no better. I'm just saying. He said 24 karat.
They got that pure gold. We got that grafted gold. No.
Hey,
I said, oh, and so
that's with that.
yeah, and then a young man met a young man from Australia. He was Caucasian, and he was watching me. I try to learn how to purchase. I said, I don't know. Let me see. So my niece was with me. So I said, I wonder how they buy that bulk of gold, bricks of gold. He said, excuse me? I said, oh, I was just thinking because I'm here with a group. He said, oh. He said, you don't purchase your gold? I said, no, I'm just learning. And he says, well, I could show you a little something. And he sat there and he explained it to me. I was like, wow, this is something we don't even learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
And he's traveled. He said, "Oh, I travel all over the world. Barter. Buy gold back and forth and this and that." And so these are the things that I'm learning from other people, people who are doing things and making money and doing things. And that's why I said we can do it. We can do it. Go adventure, travel. When you travel, you can see different things and understand different people and their culture. and how they live and how the different foods they eat and how they socialize and how the children, and you have a place where you could say you could go home. I could retire. So I went online and I always check in with the embassy. I'm a female. I'm not going to no continent. And nobody don't know I'm there. Everybody know. Farrakhan. Everybody know I'm there. So the embassy, they got all the paperwork there for you. So I said, Mr. Chad, if I wanted to retire here in Ghana, is it possible? And guess what? You can't go to no country and not have an income. Did you know that? No, I'm asking you. Did you know it? You can't go nowhere and you're not having an income.
We would definitely.
No, you either you getting SSI disability or you have a business here that's sending you money. You just can't go lay around like America. Come here and let's lay up, wait for a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. So he said, Ms. Muhammad, when you're ready, we can do the paperwork and I could retire. They have a sister there that have her own compound for single women to go live. You can look it up if you want to, where you want to live in Ghana. If you want to get your home, you want something with children or whatever. So that's what I'm looking. I'm not going to be on this concrete 80, 90 years old. I'm 70 now. I'm not going to be on this concrete running up and down, people shooting and banging everybody. No, you could sit right there and look at the Atlantic Ocean. You be on the other side enjoying yourself. That's what you want to be looking forward to. That's the dream. That's the nonprofit. That's the dream. To sit back and relax, drink some. You just sit in there, then lemonade or whatever you some herb. Look, show the bag of the tea, herb teas, and
Some
have your
teas over
little
here.
take some herb teas with me. Little hustle, yeah,
Definitely.
and sit there and the sisters and I met them there. I said, and you live here? They was like, yes, I live here. I said, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Ohio. I'm a retired teacher, and the places are nice stoves, internet. Ain't no shacky shack, so don't let them keep telling you that it's some old. No, you got a balcony and everything. I can show you. So that's what I'm talking about. Haram, the energy what we're talking about as far as wealth is concerned. It's not only stop here. Try to do for yourself. You could do better in other countries.
Absolutely. Something that I found an herb from I'm not going too far off topic.
Go ahead.
I found an herb from Africa,
Oh,
West Africa,
okay.
called kinkaliba leaf. And that's in our Circle 7 cleanse. That's our most powerful
okay.
herbal cleanse. And it's made me think, I wasn't thinking too deep about it. I was just really researching like what herbs out there have been proven to be really good for just, detox and flushing your system and stuff. And that was one of the main herbs that was coming up constantly, kinkaliba leaf. So I found it. And it's made me think are people here definitely going to need to take these herbs from the motherland, help clean out them system, help clean out the parasites, and it might clear the thinking out. It make you think like if they get their gut health right, their brain's going to come right in alignment and really realize, I need to stop with this Western diet and return to home.
Yeah.
Hopefully that works out because we need more people on this level of thinking. The action steps, you've given plenty of action steps today. You didn't just say, all this stuff is bad and all. We talked about practical things we could be doing right now. Like you said, there's compounds in Ghana for a woman, single woman. There's land that she can purchase.
Yes.
You have a shade tree. I didn't
shea butter.
we need it. We need it.
And,
Send some back.
And
Please.
and the thing is that you'd be surprised how many. When you go, if you can get in touch with Babatu, I'm going to keep saying Babatu, he's building a school there. And he has a compound.
Yes.
Him and brother, y'all may know him as Brother Balagoon. And they're already there. They're already there. They come back and forth. They come back and forth. And I connected with them. But I never knew deep down in myself that I could take that adventure to ever get off. You have to really have a mindset to break it that you want to get. They did so much damage to us that we don't even want to go. And if we want to go, we just don't go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you have to do a lot of praying and searching and say, Allah, so somebody would say, Don't say that you going. Just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go. Just go. That's the key. Just go. You ain't got to broadcast it. Just go. But me, I was so excited, trying to share everything with everybody, but everything is not for everybody.
Exactly.
True.
So that's when we talk about wealth. Everybody else is. We can go home. We can go to our own. Go back to our own, and set up businesses, and like the brothers did, set up businesses, purchase homes, and do our own thing. If nobody want to do it, we could do it. I did it. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a rapper.
Yep.
But I got something I could say. I could go back and back and sit back and relax and say it's mine.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
We're on it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to talk. Obviously, we have a lot more talking to do offline. Actual things that we have to, connect to make this stuff come to fruition. But you already get, like I said, you get plenty of action tips and items and things that we all need to take a step back and reflect on, so that we can move forward and with the right step in the right direction. So, please. We have to sign off. We could definitely be here all day talking.
Yes,
but
yes.
we have to close out.
Okay.
I would just whatever closing thoughts you have on a topic. You said a lot. The Haram hustle, robbing generational wealth. Just my thought, real quick. I believe, or I know that we have solutions. We have solutions. It's not like you don't have to go. You don't have to look too far. Like literally just look right here. Like just look here. Look at Muhammad Mosque number 35. Look at the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moor Culture Center here, 715 North King Street. There's other organizations and people around. Even if it's just you starting your own organization with your own circle you have. Build a garden in your own backyard.
Yes, grow your own food.
Grow your own food. And outside of that, find other Asiatics, other people that are like us around that you can build with. It takes it's going to take unity amongst each other. We're going to be talking about more of that later with brother Robert Muhammad. But Sister Lorraine, please leave us with any final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts is the thing is about unity, and doing for self, and start loving each other more. Hatred and fear is the most dangerous thing, to have fear. You're afraid of something. That keeps you not even spiritually constant fear. Fear on the internet, fear the president, fear. Fear is not something that we should be looking forward to. We're not those people. So stay away from fear. That's my closing. And let's unite and start doing for self and growing our own food. So I want to thank you all for me being here. Hotep, Islam, and Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Anything, Grand Governor? Any last thought?
Yeah, we're going to get you back on here sometime soon. Again, we love you to life.
I love you.
Just wanted to give you your flowers, Sister Lorraine Muhammad.
Thank you.
It's been a while, and this is one topic that needed to be discussed, and we're going to have more. So just keep tuning in to the Moor Culture Center podcast, and enjoy the ride.
And where can they find you brothers at? Well, on internet or phone numbers, or
moorculturecenter.com.
Okay.
Moor, Moor, obviously. moorculturecenter.com. You just type it in on Facebook or YouTube. Will pop up. This is the Moor Culture podcast. Will pop up. But yeah, that's all. Islam, peace. We're signing off. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.